Hey guys, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about building your brand for your travel business. And we're really going to be going through some key things to think about as you start curating your brand, learning your brand voice, kind of those basic things that are really important, everything from logo to brand continuity. And we're going to touch on those today. And I'm actually going to be demoing a tool that we use right here in our Careers on Vacation program that will help you guys start to track your brand standards, right? That's an important thing. So let's jump right in. The first thing I want to talk about is brand theory in general, which is first thing to know, first principle is your brand speaks before you do. It's really important that you have a strong logo, that you have a continuity in everything from how you write things to the fonts that you use to the consistent colors to making sure that your logo is only used with certain sizes. Those are all things that are important. As people work with you, and kind of the rule of marketing is they need to see you 5 to 7 times before they ever recognize your brand, and they need to see you 8 to 10 before they ever take an action. So think about that. You're going to be putting your brand out there and getting it in front of eyeballs in different ways when you get to marketing, but the very 101 part of branding is understanding you have to have a clear branding message, a clear branding theme, and that continuity from place to place. So I'm going to be showing some samples of that today, and I'm also going to talk about establishing your brand standards in this video, how to keep your brand standards on file, how to even build a brand standard worksheet, if you will. So let's jump right in. First thing I want to talk about is having a strong logo. So with your logo, I want you to think about the voice of your company. Are you going to be a more luxury brand? Are you going to be an adventure brand? Are you going to be a fun family friends brand? Maybe you're going to specialize in weddings. Whatever you are really going to specialize in, start thinking about your niches and also the type of clients that you're going to serve and that you're going to help. These are questions you need to ask yourself as you're building your brand. You don't want to build out an uber luxury brand and then you're doing casual fun trips for families, right? It just doesn't mesh. So that's why it's so important to think about who your client is. We use it in terms of thinking about having a client avatar. Who is your ideal client? Who are your ideal clients? You can have more than one avatar, but get clear on who you want to serve in the world and what you're going to be selling to them, because answering those questions up front will help you establish your brand as you move forward. If you're in our Careers on Vacation program, we're going to have lots of information to help you work through establishing who those avatars are and to really get clear on that. But that is really the first step to kind of building from this point on. So answer those questions for yourself, take some time to brainstorm on that, get clear on those things, and then go to the process of thinking about what your logo is going to look like. What is it going to feel like? What emotion does it put out into the world when you see it? And always remember, your brand is going to speak before you ever get on the phone with someone, before they ever take an action to communicate with you. So making sure you have good, strong, clean branding is really critical. It's kind of a foundation piece that will help you leverage as you grow and can build with you for years and years. I see a lot of people try to create their own logos, or they use clip art logos. I mean, you can do it if you're on a super budget, but here's the thing. If you really want to attract the right clients who are going to buy high-end products and services and, attracting the clients you want to work with, your branding has to speak to those clients and it has to inspire them to take an action. So don't skimp is what I'm saying on your branding. I think it's important to really spend some time and take a moment and take a beat. Don't just put anything out there. Make sure your brand it speaks for you. The other thing I'll talk about when it comes to your logo and branding is make sure it's an authentic extension of who you want to be in the world or who your company wants to be in the world, right? Again, if you do adventure travel and then your brand doesn't say adventure travel, it's not going to mesh. It's not going to be cohesive. Your branding message is going to be off. That's going to confuse consumers and you're going to have less results because of that. So that's why this stuff is so important, guys, from a branding perspective. But once you are clear on that, you've answered those questions for yourself and you're starting to build out your logos, one of the things I want you to do is take it to the next level. And I want you to make sure that you are creating a brand standards guide for yourself. So if you're working with high-end artists, and I know not everybody has budgets to hire a high-end artist where they give you a whole branding package, that's okay. There's different ways that you can can do that, whether you're working with a one-off artist or you're working with one of these companies that does like sourcing for logos. If you're in Careers on Vacation, we have links for all this stuff, so check that out. But whoever you're going to for your logo needs, you want to make sure that you are at least taking those logos and deciding what's the color palette I'm going to use then, and what are the fonts I'm going to use as a company, and staying true to that. What drives me crazy when I do a business audit is if I go one place and the brand looks one way, and then I go another place and it looks a different way, and they're using different fonts and different colors, and it's just not cohesive. So the second half of this training session, I'm going to walk through giving you some samples on, does it look cohesive from place to place? And I'm actually going to show you what that looks like, okay? But first, let's jump in and talk about brand standards. Let's say you've created your logo, you've decided on your colors, maybe you haven't narrowed down fonts yet, but once you do, what I want you to do is I want you to put that on kind of a worksheet. So I'm going to share my screen here real quick. Okay, so I'm logged in here on our client site. So I'm going to log into Careers on Vacation, and I'm going to go into module 1 here, which jumps right into curating your brand. So I'm not going to go through all of these pieces today, but what I really want to point you in the direction of is our brand standards worksheet. This is really helpful for keeping track of all of your logos, fonts, all of the colors, and I'm going to actually walk you through building your own style guide here in just a second. But this training specifically is going through how to track your brand standards, and you can do it one of two ways. If you already have them, there's a worksheet in here, you can just copy and paste and put them in there. If you want to get a little fancy, I'm going to show you how to work with our COV style guide template. So you'll see over here on Canva, I have this pulled up for us. So I'm going to teach you guys how to create this. So this is a blank one. If you're building your own, you can use this blank one. I'm going to go ahead and create a duplicate and show you how to easily create your own style guide. So as you can see, I have our agency logos right here. So I'm going to pull in this first box. I know it's hard to see, but you want to put your primary logo, and then we're going to put our logo variations. So our primary logo for Tripsy is this one right here. And actually, before I move that over, if your logo is not a perfect square like mine isn't, you can just make that a little bit bigger. So I'm going to make that box a little bigger. I'm going to carry that over, and we're going to pop that in there. And again, you can make the box a little bit bigger or smaller so it kind of fits your logo. I don't like the way that looks. Let's try that again. There we go. There we go. All right, perfect. So that looks really good. Now, a lot of times when you establish a primary logo, an artist will also give you secondary logos. As you can see, we have a couple secondary logos. So we have a white one that we use, and I know this isn't going to show up, but I am going to save it over here. Knowing that that's my white that's my transparent white one, and then here's the other one that we will use as well, that one there. And remember, you can download and save this when you're done. So I have all of my primary logo assets saved right here. This is what I can share with my team, and you might be thinking, I don't have a team yet. That's totally fine, but when you have to have that first banner printed up, or you're gonna start sending out postcards or doing different things, this is one place you can go back to and have all of your assets stored in one place. So I have my primary, secondary logos. The next thing that's listed here is a submark or an alternative logo. So we have an alternative logo that we use. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger. Just gonna adjust that up. And this is one that we use on some of our sites, so I'm gonna pop that in there too. It's on a background of kind of like this wood grain that we like to use at our agency. And if you have a submark, you can add that there too. For the sake of time today, I wanna get through everything. So a submark is like a one letter or something that you would use. That's all a submark is. You can use it in smaller spaces or where you're trying to have a smaller identifier for your brand. Now, I want to talk about color palettes. These are so fun. So what we've done here is we've put together your color palettes all ready for you. So I'm going to click here. Once I click there, I can go over here and I can literally put my colors in. Now, we have a lot of different companies that I run. Today, we're working with Tripsy. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on each box, and then I'm going to put Tripsy's colors in there. So I have these kind of all ready. If you don't have them ready, you may have to search these up. If you have an artist build your logo, they're going to give you something called a hex or an RGB code, and you'll be able to plug those numbers in either online there. If you're in the program, there's a link in there that will actually decode them for you or translate. Or over here on Canva, Canva is a free website. If it's new to you, you can use Canva and put the numbers in, and you can find yours from there. So perfect. So we have all of our colors loaded in that we use in our Tripsy logo. So these are our approved colors. And then down here, you can decide on what fonts you want to use. You'll notice when I highlight there, it automatically has the font. If I want to change that, like at Tripsy, we use this typewriter font quite a bit. So I'm updating that. So you can actually go through and pick the different fonts that you plan to use. We have certain fonts we use in our copies, certain fonts we use on postcards and different things. And when you're all finished, you'll have a nice little finished style guide for your agency. So then you can download it and keep that on file. And this comes in so handy for so many reasons. I really recommend that you do that, especially as you grow and you're going to need more marketing and different things. This is something that you can shoot off to any designer or anyone working on stuff for you, and they will automatically know what your brand standards are. This also ensures continuity as you're building things out. If you're always working off of this one place, that's really important. So I would definitely take that step, download that, and have that on file for your agency. Now, the other thing I talked about doing a little audit on, this is something we do on a regular basis and we'll do on our mastermind calls, is we will look at our clients' pages and see how things are going and making sure that continuity is there. One of the things I recommend that you guys do as you are either building this out or you are reevaluating, maybe you already have an established agency and you're deciding, do I have brand continuity? What is brand continuity? Should I have it? Literally, the easiest thing you can do is just skip from place to place and take a peek. This is what our brand looks like on Facebook. Okay, if it looks like that on Facebook, and then I skip over to Instagram, is there continuity in how it looks, in the colors that I use, in the fonts that I'm using, in the things that I'm saying? Does it look the same from place to place? Even over on, let me go over to YouTube really quick. And it's going to start playing a video, so let me pause that. So does it look the same? And you'll notice the logos always look the same. The font looks the same. We're using one of the logos off of those approved places. If I go over, let me hop back over to Instagram, what we're using for our in our profile circles, is it the same, right? From platform to platform. So that's an easy way just to kind of do a self-assessment. Or if you're brand new and you're building this stuff for the first time, really think about that. Does my Facebook look like my Instagram, look like my TikTok, look like my YouTube, look like whatever platforms you're going to commit to? Make sure you have that brand continuity that carries through. That's really important as you start to establish a brand. So guys, I hope that this quick branding video was helpful for you today as you start to build, curate, or audit your existing brands to really understand, is it speaking to my clients? Is it doing what I want to do? What is my brand messaging going to be? How am I going to ensure that continuity? This is a great place to get started and to think through those things. And then the next step is, as you move into the Careers on Vacation program, we're going to teach you how to plug these pieces into your giant marketing machine, which is when all the magic happens. And we're so excited for that. But really dial in, get these pieces done, and it will really help you evolve your brand as you move forward. So thanks for watching today, guys. I'll see you on the next one.